This is Love Your Story.
I actually didn't know what I wanted to do. I was into the arts and it was my tutor that told me
I want to learn more, something new, something different, do something to improve.
Every tutor's different, they've got their own personality, their own takes. No one's afraid to...
Everyone's journey is unique. Every story is worth celebrating. Our experiences, our choices, the people we meet along the way, twists and turns and unexpected detours shape us into who we are and who we become. In this podcast series, we're exploring the many different stories that are created at the University of Cumbria. The personal journeys from all walks of life, the obstacles overcome, and the goals for the future. In the last episode, we heard about life as an undergraduate, the people who help you during your time at university, and the many experiences available to you to help shape your future career. But in this episode, we look at the postgraduate story. What's it like to continue your studies at university? What's the experience of a master's degree like? And what can it do for you? Finn H. Drood moved from Germany to study a BA at the University of Cumbria and is currently studying for an MA in creative practice. This is his story.
My background is very much rooted in the arts. I have grown up in a family of actors, writers, directors. So I was always really involved in the arts from when I was really, really little. And it was always really clear to me that I wanted to go in the arts myself. So I'm originally from Germany. So when I finished school and I was about 19, 20 years old and I was sort of looking at what I wanted to do, I've decided I wanted to study film and I wanted to sort of be involved in sort of the film industry. So I came over to Carlisle in 2010 and I did a BA in film and TV production here at the University of Cumbria. And that was sort of really the foundation for me. And after that, I moved on working for the university. So I'm an AV technician in the AV department at Brampton Road, and I'm still sort of involved at the side of that in sort of creative projects in the area, and I'm sort of working as a freelance editor and a freelance filmmaker on the side. And then for me, sort of the natural progressions was basically saying that I want to do an MA. What really attracted me to the creative practice course, I think, was because there's loads and loads of different people from different backgrounds, different artistic backgrounds coming together. So there's graphic designers, there's illustrators, there's costume designers, there's filmmakers, there's just loads and loads of different people coming together. And it's very refreshing, especially when it comes to sort of discussing stuff in class and when it comes to sort of getting feedback from your peers. It's just a very refreshing thing to get an insight from people who maybe aren't involved in films 24/7, who have a completely different area of interest in their day-to-day lives, and getting some of their input in your work and seeing the work that they're doing and seeing how they develop and being able to give them an input in your work. It's just a completely different way of thinking, I think, and it's a different way of working creatively, and it just opens up a lot more doors. And sort of getting that input allows me to maybe think, oh yeah, I hadn't thought about it that way, or I hadn't thought about it this way, or that's a really interesting thing to consider. I think what I love the most about studying at the University of Cumbria is just the freedom that I'm giving when I do my work, especially with the MA Creative Practice. When we get our briefs, it's very much open to whatever you want to do, whatever you want to explore. You get sort of a very simple guideline that sort of guides you in the right direction for the project that you're going to do. But apart from that, it's literally a blank page, and whatever you want to explore, everybody will always support you and sort of help you reach the goal that you've sort of set yourself. And I think it's something that you don't find that much in sort of other places, and it's just something that really sort of stuck out to me. And it's been the same with my MA and the same with my BA. It's just the notion of creatively exploring whatever you want. My main plan, I think, after I finished the MA, and it's been sort of a plan that's now a little bit longer than making, is sort of moving on academically as well. So I'm looking at sort of going further down the route and sort of going to a point where I can start teaching. I would really like to sort of make the jump from technician onto the lecturing side and sort of become a media lecturer. So that's, I think, for me, the next step, to sort of look into that, how I can now use the MA to hopefully end up teaching one day.
Finn's story is as unique and personal as can be, and demonstrates a passion for his subject, and how continuing his studies at university will help shape a career in the future. Callum Eccleston is another MA student at the University of Cumbria who's just about to complete his final year studying contemporary fine art. His story showcases his love of the arts and how the experience at the university has provided opportunities to exhibit his work to a wider audience.
My name is Callum Eccleston. I'm coming to the end of my second year and final year of the MA Contemporary Fine Art course at the University of Cumbria. My work is based around Albert Camus' essay on the myth of Sisyphus, the Greek titan who was condemned to roll a boulder to the top of a mountain, only for it to inevitably fall to the bottom again, and have him just, for eternity, roll this thing up a mountain and have it fall, roll up, have it fall. Camus, in his writing, would compare this to man's everyday experience, this kind of meaningless, futile nature of existence, very existential, it's kind of absurdist philosophy as well. So that would really become very quickly the backbone of the work and the way I would access a performance art practice using these Sisyphean ideals like repetition, physical labor, futility, to the best of my abilities in order to access that frame of mind and communicate those ideas effectively through performance art. The exhibited work will be a sort of installation-based performance, which is, in a sense, a bit of a deviation for me, because I'm more used to, for lack of a better word, attacking a space and either going into public or turning up and using what's available in order to correctly convey the subject matter or appropriate the Sisyphean subject matter I'm so obviously in love with, So yeah, here I had to really concentrate on building the space first, and then the performance would happen in that space. But I'd also have to think about, because I'm only performing on the opening night and the exhibition goes on for a few days after that, I would have to think of what the space did after I'd left. What aftermath would I be leaving? So I would incorporate things like the brain scan imagery, which would incorporate the trace of previous performances, soil on the ground, and I'll be walking in that sort of strange motions and scars, if you will, left in the soil, which will indicate a sort of proof of action dynamic going forward in the work when I'm not around. My piece for the exhibition, very pretentiously I might add, is called Attitude of Mind, Totality of Deeds, which sort of mirrors both sides of the pillar I'll be performing around, which is a direct quote from Camus' essay itself, kind of scattered around the page, but yeah, it's a direct sort of thread pulled from his writings. So I'm really working with that at the moment.
This is Love Your Story from the University of Cumbria, a podcast of unique and personal stories from past and present students. You can find out more about these stories, the university experience, and all the different routes into higher education on the University of Cumbria website, or just search for the hashtag #LoveYourStory. In the next episode, we look at life as an international student and what it's like to move to a new country and start your university life in Cumbria. Download and listen when you can, and whatever stage you're at, love your story and embrace the journey.